Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be slightly different. So in this video, not only am I going to be showing you a really easy card trick, I am going to be showing you three ways you can do this card trick. So the easy way, intermediate way, and expert way. Now, I will be showing you a little bonus thing you can add to all three ways if you so choose to. The cards I'm going to be using for this effect are the Bicycle Original Mickey Mouse playing cards. I have a deck review on these, which I will link in the description. Instead of doing three performances and three tutorials, I'm just going to be doing three tutorials because the video would be too long if I did performances with it. So without further ado, let's start with the beginner way. So, for the beginner way to do this effect, you are going to actually have a setup. So what you're going to do, go ahead and decide on a pair of soulmates for this effect. If you don't know what soulmates are, I will link my video in the description, but it's really easy. So in this case, what soulmates would be the same number, so let's say 5, and then the same black. Clubs go with spades. If you actually have a red pair of cards, it would be the same number and color. So let's say red queens, and then hearts go with diamonds. And in my video down below, I go over every possible soulmate. So let's say for this effect that we're going to go ahead and do the two red kings. So we're going to go ahead and find the first king and then the second king. So once you have these two kings out, you're going to decide on which king you're going to force or reveal at the end. And it would be a good idea to remember what king that is. So let's say the king of hearts. That's going to go on top of the deck. And then if you do the soulmate, there are a few things you can do. If you don't do the soulmate, all you have to do, which I will explain right after, is remember the card and then you can start the trick. So, for the soulmate, what you could do, first of all, is have it off to the side and not bring any attention to it. Or you could say that this is your prediction card, and you're going to try to find the matching card that goes with it. Another thing you could do is turn the card face up and show it to them and say and explain what soulmates are, and then say we're going to try to find the king of hearts in this deck. Another thing you could do is place this card in the box and leave it off to the side without calling any attention to it. Or you could place the card in the box and then put it in your pocket. And the very last thing you could do is have this card somewhere in the deck. So, what you're going to do is start the trick. So, I explain, I'm going to go through and find a prediction. So, everything would be like this. So, the participant only sees the back of the cards. So, I'm going to expose this so you can see the front of the cards as well. So, we're going to go through. We're gonna find that king of diamonds, and now it doesn't matter if you place it face down, turn it face up, or place it in the box. You turn the deck face down, and now with that one soulmate on top, you could do some false shuffles and or cuts. You just need to keep that king on top. If you're not familiar with cuts and shuffles that are false, I will link my video in the description. So now you ask the participant to name a number out loud between 10 and 20. If you have multiple participants, you could do, you know, two people could each name a number. It doesn't matter. So let's say in this case we do 20, number 11. So from the top of the deck into one pile, you're gonna deal 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're gonna look at the 11th card, and that is not the King of Hearts. So you're going to place it face down on top of the dealt pile, pick all of these up, which then put your King 11th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Gonna put these on top. Now you could go ahead and do another false shuffle and or cut, that doesn't matter. You're now going to ask for one more number between this time 20 and 30. And you do want to remember the numbers they name. So we had 11, and let's go with 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You show it to them, and that's not the card. So you place it face down on top of the pile, pick all of these up, and place it on top. Now you could do a false shuffle and or cut, but at this point you say, okay, so we didn't find the King of Hearts at 11 and 21. Let's take those two numbers and subtract them. And in this case, we get number 10. So you're always going to subtract the two numbers between 10 and 20, and then 20 to 30. So let's deal 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you did this right, it will be the King of Hearts. And then you can reveal your prediction. So that is the beginner way of doing this with a setup. Now, one more way I want to go over really quick for the beginners in case you are doing this with a borrowed deck. Okay, so let's say we put the two cards back in, we have the deck shuffled, and someone hands you a borrowed deck. What you can do is, first of all, already know what pair of soulmates you want, or you could look through the deck and try to find the closest pair of soulmates possible. So, like the two black nines, which has the ace between them, it really doesn't matter. So, let's say in this case, once again, everything would be like this, and you explain that you're gonna find a prediction for this trick. So you're going to take any one of the nines, and it doesn't matter how you conceal it. You don't even have to do a prediction, but I think this is better because you're moving cards around. So you place one nine down here, and then the other nine you place on top. You look through the rest of the deck, and you say, okay, I think that's good there. You do some false cuts and shuffles, and you are set. So you remember the 9 on top of the deck, and then you remember the prediction 9 is right there. And now you're going to do the same thing from before. So you're going to have a number between 10 and 20, and then 20 and 30. And that would be the first way, beginner way of doing this effect. Let's go over the intermediate way. Now, this could go ahead and lean into the expert way, but I'm still going to classify this as intermediate because I will show you an added thing that will go ahead and fall into the expert category, and then I will show you another expert way. So for this, you could do this with a borrowed deck, or you could hand your deck over to be shuffled. You take it back, and all you need to do is get a peek at the top card and remember it. Okay, so there are a few ways you could go about this. If you have a marked deck, that would be the easiest way. You could go ahead and read the marking, or you could go ahead and have the deck cut and shuffled, and when they're done, you could just read the marking then and remember it. It really doesn't matter. So, how I would get a peek, there are a few ways. You could do a beginner way, spread the deck face up, show these are all different and shuffled, and then just look at that a bottom card here. Another way you could do this is spread through, show they're all different, decide on one card you want to be your force card. Let's say the Seven of Hearts. I have my finger on there. And so then I spread through the rest. And then when you're done, you could do a few things. You're going to square up, lift up on this packet, put your pinky in, and catch a break. So now this top packet on the bottom has your card, the 7. So one thing you could do is cut at your pinky break and cut that 7 to the bottom. Another thing you could do is with this pinky break, come into thumb break and then double undercut it, which I will link in the description. So you could take about half of the cards, put those on top, and then the other half and put those on top. Another thing you could do is probably the turnover pass. So I don't have a video on the turnover pass. I'm not gonna teach it because I'm not good at it yet, but exposed, this is what it's supposed to look like, really. And if you do that, that would control it to the top. And make sure you have some misdirection when you do that. And the last way you could do this is with the classic pass, which I don't have a video on, and I'm not going to teach it until I'm good with it. And then that controls it to the top. But so there are a few ways you can go ahead and control a card to the top. The way I was thinking of is the dribble peak, okay, or just the dribble altogether. Now, I do have videos on both the dribble and the dribble peak, which I will link down below. In this case, I'm going to be going over the dribble. For the expert way, I will be doing the dribble peak and some more stuff as well. Now, you could go ahead and add in your predictions at this point once you know the top card. But for the dribble, all I'm going to do is just go ahead and dribble the cards when talking. And when I get to the top, I'm just going to stop and just lift up on that card slightly, remember it, and place it down. So it should look something like this. So let's try that again. So we go through, and I remember the Ace of Hearts. We go through here, and the Three of Hearts. And one more time, we go through the Eight of Clubs. And there you go. So that is the second way you can do this effect. Let's finally get into the third way, the expert way you can do this effect. So, you can go ahead and do this a couple of ways. You could do this by controlling a card to the top of the deck, any card you want, and then doing the prediction if you so desire. Another way you could do this is why I classify it as expert, is by having a card selected, let's say the seven of spades, and then controlling this to the top of the deck. Now, at this point, once you control it, which I will link some videos down below, it is up to you if you want to do a prediction or not. Okay, so I will link some card controls down below. But the way I was thinking of for this expert way would be the dribble peak plus the call, which would control it to the top, which I have videos for both linked down below. I know I've talked about the call a lot on this channel, but it's probably my go-to control. So I will give you a quick tutorial of it, but I won't break it down. You'll have to check out the videos in the description. So the cards are shuffled, and then you say you're gonna drop cards into your hand like this, and the participant calls out stop. So you're gonna dribble, and it doesn't matter where they call stop. When they call stop, you're gonna ask them if they're good here. And while you're asking them you're just gonna lift up on this corner slightly and peek at that card. So if they say yes, they're good here, show them the card, they remember it, and you lose it into the deck like that. If we dribble, in this case, the five of hearts, and they say no, they're not good, they're gonna call stop, and this time I read the ace of hearts. So that is really the dribble peak. Check the video in the description for more detail on it. But let's go ahead and do this. So they call out stop for the jack of diamonds, and we leave it there. Now you could hand this over to the participant and have them shuffle the deck. That's fine. Now I would only recommend that if you are really expert at the call, because then that card will get moved around in the deck. So I'm going to leave it in the middle. Now, at this point, because you do know their card, you could do a prediction. But if you do a prediction openly in front of them and you also call their card, they may get a little suspicious that your prediction is so close to their card, or they may miscall their card and say the prediction is their card. So, a way around that is first of all showing these are all different. And when you get to their card, I think it was the Jack of Hearts. It could be the Jack of Diamonds. It doesn't matter. You're going to control this to the top of the deck with the call right there. Now, at this point, you could do some false cuts and shuffles if you would like and go right into the trick. Or you could go ahead and say, okay, you saw all the cards were mixed up and different. I'm going to make a prediction now. So obviously you wouldn't show it, but I'm going to go through, make my prediction right here, and then you can go ahead and start the trick just like that. And that is going to be the video. So I hope you really enjoyed this type of video. Let me know down below in the comments if you did enjoy this type of video and if you would like to see more of these type of videos. Obviously the video is really long, but I wanted to show you as many ways as possible to do this effect. If you would like to see the original video, which is a YouTube short, that will be linked in the description. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.